Welcome back, everyone. Are we all ready for another KBS Live? I hope you are. I sure am. We'll be getting into it in just a moment. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host for the next 2 hours. My name's Kev Baker, and you are, of course, tuned in to the Kev Baker Show right here on TFRLive.com. I want to give a big shout out to all you listeners, as usual, because without you, none of this would be possible. Also, a big shout out to the Geos out there, the brains behind your number one network. And of course, we're going out on iHeartRadio. We're going out on TalkStream Live. We're going out on the TuneIn radio apps. I tell you, it's all going on here at TFR. And also, we're simulcasting on the Kev Baker Show YouTube channel. But if you are on the YouTube channel, please, please, please remember, head on over to tfrlive.com/chat, where you can be in 2 chat rooms for the price of none. I really like that catchy phrase. But how you all doing out there? I've got lots for us to get into today. There's been a lot going on in our little corner of the world over the past couple of days. I'll be having a little talk about that in just a moment. But we've also got story updates, things that we've spoke about previously on the show. The story has moved on, and I'll be bringing you updates on that. And you'll need to wait and see what I'm talking about. Then we've also got a couple of stories, or one story from the mysterious universe that really caught my attention today. I don't know if it's fake news, fake snow, or what's going on. And of course, like we usually do here now on the channel, I'm a big fan of it. I know you're a big fan of it as well. You know what's coming, don't you? I'm going to be opening up the phones, possibly in hour number 2 or sooner, depending how quickly I get through what I've got for all of you. So first off, before we go anywhere, you know, we usually reserve this for a Freaky Friday, but I'm feeling fun today. I'm in a good mood. You know, I took a day off from the streaming before the main show today because there's a lot to talk about here. And, you know, it does drain you sometimes when you do the 2 shows a day. So I want to give it absolutely everything for all of you here tonight. So first up, we have Bam in the TFR chat room. We've got All One. We've got Tony Phillips. We've got Andrea all the way from New Zealand. Gentle Civilian. The Ancient Once as well. And of course, we've got thousands of people listening around the world. Everyone equally welcome right here on TFRLive.com. And like I say, it's time for the Kev Baker Show. Now then, the other day, I had a huge show lined up, as we know. And I ended up, you know, really feeling terrible about the fact that the guest had fallen through. But I did say at the time, you know, there would be a reason for this. I'm sure something's gone wrong. Maybe a miscommunications with the time, something like that. And of course, I'm talking about the show I done covering Australia, in which I had expected Max Egan to come along. There's been a lot happening with Max over a number of days now before he was due to come on my show. And of course, in the past couple of days, he has made a couple of absolutely amazing videos. Now, the first one came yesterday, I believe, and it shocked a hell of a lot of people, myself included. And it sent ripples throughout what I would call our truth community. Max appeared to be saying things that flew in the face of things he had said previously. And, you know, a lot of people had been in contact with me, wondering what was going on. Some people as well very quick to condemn Max for what he was saying. And you know my rule, folks, when it comes to anything. When it comes to one of the major events, when it comes to something that's happening in the news, or even if it's something that's happening in our own community. It was Popeye, Joe Joseph, and a few others always taught me, don't rush, Kev. Don't rush to get the news out there. Let the dust settle. Give it 48, 72 hours. So as shocked as I was at what Max was saying, I did wait. Because I did feel there would be more to this story, and Max himself said as much in his first video. So today Max came back out again, and he made another video to clarify and to kind of hammer home just what it is he's been going through and what he has worked out during this intense period of his life. And I often call this reality a game, a simulation, and Max himself too, he is claiming and he's saying, you know, he kind of sees the puzzle now. He sees the game better. And in his video, he talks about how both flat earthers and globe earthers are both perfectly correct. And I agree with them on a certain level. And the reason for that being is that in the past, I have mentioned my liking, my interest in what we would call the holographic universe. Now, Max goes on to explain how these mind parasites, call them the jinn, call them demons, call them the archons, call them what you will, but they basically are in control of the game here. Now, I urge you all to please watch both of Max's videos to get the full story. But he talks about how in this technological age that we now find ourselves in this particular cycle, it would appear whoever these entities are, whatever it is, whatever is controlling things outside of our field of view, they have taken advantage of the digitization of everything. And Max, to kind of, and again, I don't want to butcher what he's saying, he's talking about the fact that they're almost setting up a matrix within the matrix, or a holograph within the hologram. And it's that fractal nature of reality. Now, again, I point you to go and listen to Max talking about this and keep a very open mind and do not judge anything. And don't react to any of the information that comes your way that may fly in the face of what you already believe. And this whole flat and round at the same time, I'm sure some of you out there are probably thinking or probably saying some of the stuff that I seen Max getting thrown at him. Kev's going mad. So bear with me just a moment, because I will give you the scientific kind of reasoning as to why both could be correct. And it's so strange. It's so synchronistic. It's so weird. And my good friend Nancy, she will know that she will just know something, because I messaged her earlier on today before Max's second video came out. And I've said in the past, myself and Nancy, we often talk for literally hours. You know, sometimes her husband comes in and I have a laugh with him. We're both very toxic males, by the way. That's how we get on so well. But myself and Nancy, we often talk about deep woo like this. And today I was saying to her, you know, I'd love to get a chat with you. We can talk about what Max is saying. And you know, Nancy, it's weird because I've got this other piece of the puzzle that I think fits with everything Max is saying. But this was before Max's second video came out. And the video I was talking about was a video by a physicist called Leonard Susskind. Now, I've mentioned Susskind before on the show when I've brought up something I've got absolutely no understanding of, which is quantum gravity. Now, I'd heard him giving a really interesting presentation on that, couple of podcasts that he's done with various interviewers on quantum this, quantum that. But the video that I found today, absolutely randomly because it was top of my recommended feed, it was from 2011 and it was about the holographic universe. And in that, I think it's the most basic breakdown of this theory, which you can call the holographic universe theory. And when you think of a hologram, folks, a hologram is something that is two-dimensional. It's on a piece of film. So it's a flat plane with information on it. And then when it's realized, when that information jumps off that film through technology or whatever, it becomes very three-dimensional. Very much the same as when you're looking at a painting. And when you look at the painting, you know it's on a flat surface. However, good painters are able to give it that three-dimensional property. It seems to have depth and everything else going in it, but yet still a flat plane. And Leonard Susskind was talking about information and how information can never be lost. And he started talking about black holes. And it was quite interesting because he's talking about how these black holes, and we think of all the information that is gobbled up by a black hole. And by information, I mean everything right down to a photon. Everything is information in this universe. Yet we've got a bit of a problem here when it comes to a black hole, because it's said that this information gets gobbled up and it's gone. We can't see it anymore. Only that's not the case, because we know the information can never be destroyed. And some of that information that gets gobbled up by the black hole, it gets spat out as photons, as radiation, it's converted to energy, but it goes on in a different form. It got me thinking. It really got me thinking, because when we're dealing with quantum computers and we're dealing with CERN, let's stop talking about portals. Let's think about micro black holes. Now, that micro black hole that Geordie Rose inserts all of the information into a parallel universe, as he says, it's all still there. It's all still information, both here and in that other universe. And although we can't see that information, it doesn't mean that it's not there. Now, Max is talking about how the information that's all around us that makes up this world right now, some of it's been digitized. Near all of it has been digitized and put into a new false construct. Now, the interesting thing with the black hole, though, folks, if I go back there, is that when this information enters the black hole, although we think it's gone, it's actually in the black hole. But something mysterious happens. Because as opposed to everything falling down into the black hole, like water going down a drain and disappearing, no, all of the information then gets crammed into the event horizon on a flat surface. So just like the hologram, all of the information lost is actually sitting on a flat surface. So in this new construct that somehow is being created, and perhaps with our assistance by creating micro black holes at CERN and everything else, perhaps this new reality that has been constructed is on a flat plane. And perhaps some of the people whose consciousness has merged into that reality may give rise to how the world can be both flat and round at the same time. Because we're still in this same physical space physically, but our consciousness is slowly merging with this other matrix. So for people who think the world is flat and go seeking for the world to be flat, they're going to find it is flat. And they're right. And at the same time, those of us who still hold on to the idea that the Earth is round or globe-shaped, and we go looking, we're going to find exactly the same evidence to prove that, and we're also right. Because there is some kind of other reality, other construct, call it a virtual world, if you will, if that's easier to understand, that they are slowly merging us with. Now, I've gone and added a whole lot of bells and whistles to what Max Egan's been saying, and I don't know if I'm right. And as Max says, we shouldn't have any invested interest on whether we're right or not. It should not really bother us, nor should it shock us when information comes our way that may really not sit well with our own current belief systems. Even I struggle to picture and conceptualize what it is I'm really talking about. However, I do think there's something in this. Can I properly explain it? No. But I know some of the longer time listeners to the channel will have heard us sometimes having a laugh and a joke about the shape of the planet. And my fallback default position used to be, you know, in the end of the day, if we are in a simulation and we are in this game, for lack of a better term, and it is holographic, then the information itself may well be on a flat plane, but with our consciousness and the way we decode it and the way we create as well, we bring that 2D to the 3D, and both can be right at once. But it really, really struck me when Max was talking about how there potentially could be this other new reality that these things want to drag us into. And it could well be that there are two realities going on right now all around us. Some of us see both. Some of us only see one. It's weird. It's woo. I'll probably have to go back, listen to this. Probably won't make much sense. But if I could ask you to do anything, it's to watch Max in both of his videos, take in the information that he's saying, write some of it down, and then go and watch Leonard Susskind talking about this holographic universe theory. And the way that he explains it, I think possibly a 10-year-old could understand it. And you know, for some reason, maybe just because it all happened synchronistically for me, in between Max's first and second video, me getting that, maybe I'm seeing things that might not be there. And in the end of the day, I just don't know. I haven't had one of these downloads that people like David Icke and Max recently has gone through as well. And Max is telling you, he's adamant, he doesn't want people to think this was some Christ moment or he's the chosen one. You need to watch this second video. This was technology. This was a trap. This was something almost to try and get him right back into the game to the point where he didn't see the game anymore. But we are in a game. It does make you think about this truth movement. And Max talked about that today as well. And we often talk about how intelligent our perceived enemies are. You can call them the cabal, you can call them the deep state, call them what you want, Illuminati, whatever. But it's always troubled me deep down, that it's been so damn easy for us to see through some of the things that they do. For a group of people and controllers and think tanks and everything else that are so intelligent and think 5, 10, 15 moves ahead of us, yet such glaring mistakes and errors that were, in my mind, perhaps deliberately left there to call us to this truth movement, to bring us in, to start questioning everything. Now, maybe this won't make much sense to you if you haven't heard Max's videos. I don't know. But it was pretty profound what Max has been saying. And I had my own little profound moment in between his first and second video when I randomly came across Leonard Susskind and Anne's like that. You're going to watch that, aren't you? I was like, no, I can't watch that. I'll maybe wait till you go to work. She's like, Kev, I'm going for a bath just now. Shove it on. That's your kind of science woo. It goes right over the top of my head. So an hour long, and by the time Anne came out the bath, I was just sitting there, mind melted. And I ran to the computer. I'm sending links to Nancy, and then I go to YouTube. And what happens? Max's second video's there. And pennies start dropping all over the place for me. But do I know if I'm right? Do I, heck? Am I asking you to believe me? You must go along with me? Am I, heck? We're all playing in the same game. And this isn't meant to sound selfish, but when we're on our journeys, there is an importance to realizing that you yourself are very much the center of attention when it comes to your journey, your game, your path. It's a weird world we live in, folks. And as Leonard Susskind says at the end of his presentation, you know, whether we're all right or wrong, we can sit and we can debate until the cows come home. But just think for a minute about where we've come to. You know, what we really are. As a species, as a race, as players in the game, as whatever we are. We've managed to get to the point where our brains are able to even come up with ideas and questions such as the kind of things I'm talking about here, Max is talking about in his video, the things that you all talk about, the things that interest you. And in the end of the day, you know, if you go with evolution, I don't know, most of you maybe don't, but Susskind kind of does, and it works for this because, you know, there we are, you know, basically shaved apes, and yet we're coming up with ideas about the holographic nature of reality and perhaps a hologram within a hologram. Whether it's right or wrong, who knows? What a ride we're on, folks. So yeah, again, I urge you check out Max's video. And anytime anyone comes out and says something that might fly in the face of what they've said before, or me, I'll use me as an example. Maybe you agree with 90% of the things I say and that's why you like me. And then all of a sudden I do a show that, oh, it totally rubs you up the wrong way. Don't react. Just take it in and let it flow over the top of you and just carry on. And I myself have to learn to do that better as well. I remember reacting totally ridiculously the first time I've heard things that really don't fit with me. But that's on me. That's wrong. That's not on the person presenting it. That's the path they're on. So I hope I haven't bored you in this first section of the show. I really do. But please don't judge Max. That's so many mails, so many messages. Well, not so many. That's an exaggeration. Messages of people just, some of them incandescent with rage at what Max was saying after the first video. Of course, there was posts all over social media about the first video and everything else, but that 48, 72-hour rule, folks, you need to wait for all of the dominoes to fall. All of the dust to settle. And what may be true for me may be absolutely bunk for you. And what may be true for you may be absolutely bunk for me. But in the end of the day, does it really matter? Because we're both playing the game. We're all playing the game. And whether there's a way out of the game or not, I don't know. I really don't know. But again, I urge you all, check out Max Egan's videos, The Crow House, and you can go to thecrowhouse.com as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing what material comes from now on, from this point forward, from Max. Do I know he's right? Do I agree with everything? No, but it's not important. That's not the point. It really isn't the point. And if there are things out there controlling us and feeding off us, like we've often talked about and we've often postulated and wondered about, maybe we need to stop feeding the bear. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, folks. There we go, folks. I'm on the break right now. A little bit deep, but it's my thoughts. I'm only being honest, and I really had a weird day today. When in between videos, I watched that Susskind thing. Maybe we'll be able to catch a bit of that. I'm sure it's copyrighted. It's from a TV company. However, I urge you all to check it out. I'll try and get the link and drop it by the end of the show. But until I get a drink of coffee, folks, let me just play some tunes, and I'll be back in a little minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host. It is Kev Baker. Yes, I am still the Kev Baker. Wasn't my usual kind of material there in part one, but I tell you, with everything that Max has been saying, and then that little quirk I had today, I tell you, I'm not saying I got some kind of download. That definitely got me thinking. Absolutely. And you don't have to believe or care about a word I said there. That's not important. It really isn't, because you're playing your game, I'm playing my game. And I think together, we're going to win. We are going to win in the end. So moving on to some of the stuff I have got for all of us to enjoy tonight. Ben Emlyn Jones, one of my favourite guests, a friend. Met him physically in the real world, not a Facebook friend, a digital friend. I've met him in the real world, right? Great guy, on air, off air. And we get into a terrible amount of moo. No cows, just woo. We do woo all the time. Ben is steeped in the woo. And the last time he was on the show, we talked about a story which now has a very interesting, if not questionable, update/outcome. First, I'm going to play the little clip from when Ben was on the show in December, and this covers the story that has now been, well, they say it's now been solved. Take a listen to this.
Yeah.
Let's get into some good woo here. And I say good woo. It's perhaps maybe the canary in the coal mine, pardon the pun, but an interesting story that we covered on the daytime stream and with Scott Lopez, I think, on Freaky Friday or one of the weekends. I can't remember. Do that many streams now. But we were talking about a story that you have covered on your website, and it's close to your home in Wales. Birds falling out the sky. What's happening?
It's a very strange thing. Now, it's a sad story for bird lovers, unfortunately, but a large number of birds were literally found dead lying on a road. Now, this does happen, of course. They get caught by cats. Sometimes they hit cars. But in this case, there were almost 300 of these birds, and they were just lying in a small area. They were scattered everywhere like little grains of salt. It was incredible. And they were covered in blood, but apart from that, there's no obvious cause of their deaths. Now, the police are investigating. The RSPB, the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, is also concerned. What they're saying at the moment is they think these birds might have been poisoned. But I'm not sure exactly what happened here, because there's some weird factors associated with this. Firstly, it's not the first time this has happened. In fact, there are many reports of these dating back quite a long time. I was talking to someone on Facebook, and he said, this goes back centuries. These sort of things have been reported for centuries. Also, they're all the same species. They're starlings. There are no sparrows, no blackbirds. All of them are the same species. And this has happened in places such as Arkansas, USA. And again, you get a large number of birds dropping dead out of the sky, no apparent reason, all the same species. Sometimes the cause of death can't be associated. But, there's been several theories. I've been looking at some of the theories. For example, one veterinary laboratory explains the Arkansas deaths as the result of birds that were scared by fireworks, and they basically panicked and flew along and eventually collided with structures such as lampposts, trees and houses. There's several other theories that have come about. I don't know if these are specifically false. It seems odd, though. There's the odd factors, such as the birds all being the same species. The vets sometimes can't find exactly why they died. Sometimes there's signs of blunt trauma injury. There's also several times these things have happened, and some people have associated them with the skyquakes. I think have we discussed the skyquakes before?
I think we have, yeah. It's definitely something, a phenomena that we could put up there, on the board. Maybe some of this, Scott Lopez talks about sprite lightning. Now, usually that's higher up in the atmosphere, granted. But there's so much we don't know about lightning and things, Ben, that possibly some lightning phenomena, it would have to know the weather at the time, perhaps. I don't know, it's just so weird, but my mind always, and it doesn't mean that it's right, but it always goes back to the whole magnetics, the magnetic field, the poles. I don't know.
We know that birds have extraordinary navigational abilities. Pigeons in particular can find their way for thousands of miles. And it's often thought, well, how do they do this? And one of the theories is that it's something to do with magnetism, with geomagnetism, the magnetic field of the Earth, the ionosphere. We think that whales and some in the sea and some fish can do the same thing, which is why when there are solar storms, very often you get a lot of whale beaching because.
Okay, so the bird die-off in Wales. Remember we covered that? Well, it's just so happens that we now have an answer to what happened. Or do we? Let me take you to Sky News, shall we? My favourite, or as I call it, lies news. So then, it says here, Wales. Hundreds of starlings were found dead were, quote, avoiding a bird of prey. The case now appears to have been solved after some of the birds were examined by the government's Animal and Plant Health Agency. Interesting. Says here the mystery of hundreds of starlings found dead on a road in Anglesey has been solved by police who think they were trying to avoid a predator. More than 200 starlings were found on the road and nearby hedgerow near Lynwyrn in Bodderun on 10th of December. Officers from North Wales Police Rural Crime Team initially said it was a mystery, but now they believe they have cracked the case after some of the birds were examined by the government's Animal and Plant Health Agency. Anyone buying this so far? The post-mortem results show the birds suffered severe internal trauma from impact. Now, Robert Taylor from the Force's Rural Crime Team said, please bear in mind that the full toxicology has not been received, so a final theory cannot be confirmed, but we are quite sure of the reasons and cause of death of the birds. That's kind of contradictory, is it not? Please bear in mind that the full toxicology has not been received, so a final theory cannot be confirmed. But the headline says it's been solved. How interesting. Colour me a little sceptical, folks. Just a little bitty sceptical. And of course, now just me questioning the official line. Of course, we'll have those people out there who believe everything that the mainstream tell them. They'll be saying, but Kev, it's okay. They were avoiding a bird of prey. There's nothing weird about this. There's nothing to worry about there. There's no canary in the coal mine of anything more drastic coming our way. But it says, quote, the trauma supports the case that the birds died from impact on the road. It's highly likely that the murmuration, is that even a word? M-U-R-M-U-R-A-T-I-O-N. Hang on, I need to Google that. I'm silly, I'm thick, folks, but I'm learning all the time, so what does this word mean? Murmuration refers to the phenomenon that results when hundreds, sometimes thousands of starlings fly in swooping, intricately coordinated patterns throughout the sky. Okay, so I know what it means now. Well, we've seen that brilliant, lovely pattern of birds, and they're all flying in unison somehow, almost as if they're in some kind of direct communication with one another. Murmuration. Learn something new every day, eh? So it says it's highly likely that the murmuration took avoiding action whilst airborne, and from possibly a bird of prey, with the rear of the group not pulling up in time and striking the ground. Now, I can't say that this is definitely bunk. I don't know, it's not really sitting too well with me. We still await toxicology, but from speaking to many people, looking at the injuries and previous worldwide cases, it appears by taking avoiding flight action, the murmuration has flown toward the ground and pulled up, but some have not made it. He added, thank you for the many calls and emails we received on the case from around the world. Now just stop calling us. Okay, it didn't say that. But it says some theories were truly incredible and out of this world. We can only work on hard evidence, previous cases, and professional opinion. Now, a professional, yes, a police officer is most certainly a professional, at policing. He's not a professional on murmuration and what may or may not be taking out starlings and other flocks of birds around the world in previous years. Okay? So the starlings were spotted by Hannah Stevens, who was on her way to see a doctor when she initially spotted a huge flock of birds in the sky. And an hour later, on her way back, she saw them lying in the road. At the time, her partner, David Edwards, I think that's David in Welsh. Might be wrong though. I apologise to my Welsh listeners if that's wrong. Okay, it was very distressing. My gut instinct is that they've been poisoned, but we don't know. It's hard to say, really. And that still is true because we were told the toxicology isn't in. You know, they don't have any confirmation yet. We're just to believe this professional opinion of somebody that's not a professional on birds. Just saying, I think it's still mysterious, folks. I've got no idea what may have caused this. And it could be that sometimes, maybe in this case as well, maybe the murmuration theory's true. Maybe there isn't some fantastical explanation or reason as to why the birds are falling out the sky. Me personally, and on my path, on my journey, I'm a little bit skeptical. But will it affect how I go about my day-to-day business? No, of course it won't. Neither should it you either. It's just one of these mysteries, right? One of these things that we've looked at and, well, we've been given the authoritative response now. Whether you believe that or not, that's entirely up to you. So moving on, I've seen another strange story and, you know, people get outraged at all the wrong things. Think of all the things that are out there in the world that we could get angry about. Poverty, famine, the things that we're seeing in Australia and other disaster-hit parts of the world throughout the course of our lives. I can think of many things that we could get really kind of angry and active about. However, you know, some things I think really in 2020, is it really a thing? And this next story definitely falls into that category. Burger King have been condemned by a conservative moms group after using the D word in an ad campaign. Now I'm thinking to myself, the D word? Well, right away, I was kind of confused because I was struggling to find a bad word that began with D. And I was thinking, did Burger King really talk about like a dude's kind of private parts, like the D word? You know, like Dick Cheney. That kind of D word. But no, it was something far more terrible and far more shocking. You know, it says conservative advocacy group 1 million mums has condemned Burger King for its use of profanity in a commercial from August. At that point, I was still trying to remember. I like my Burger Kings. Hate me for it if you like, right? But I like my Burger King. And I'm thinking, I still can't remember an ad. Can't remember no advert that had a sweary word in it. I'd remembered that. I'd have gone, ooh, you can't do that in an advert. Same as I can't openly swear as I normally do in real life on the radio. When I'm on the radio, on TFR here. YouTube as well, they've got a problem with bad language. What is it about bad language? But let me read on further. The ad campaign first aired in August and finds customers waiting in line for a fake, quote, impossible restaurant, which ends up being a Burger King storefront for the company's plant-based Impossible Whopper. Now at the 45-second mark, one customer, after sampling the burger, says, and close your ears now, folks, close your ears now, because this is going to offend you. You're not going to be able to get over this. The advert said, damn, that's good. Damn? Damn? Really? That word's offending people? When all the other things going on in the world that you could get angry and active about, the word damn is affecting you? So it says in a statement published on Friday, 1 million mums decried the use of the D word in an ad campaign, calling the campaign offensive and controversial. Now, Burger King's Impossible Whopper ad is irresponsible and tasteless, Well, I'd say the burger's probably tasteless, right? Because it's not real meat. The organization wrote in a statement, quote, "It is extremely destructive and damaging to impressionable children viewing the commercial. We all know children repeat what they hear." Yeah, and this is the thing. This is the thing. This is what I don't get in this day and age right now. I mean, is the use of profanity, if is the use of bad words, is it really such a no-no? Is it really such a taboo? And I'm asking you personally out there. I mean, even if I could, under FCC rules and under YouTube guidelines, even if they allowed you to swear like a trooper, I've always been brought up to be polite in front of strangers and in front of crowds and things, and I would keep it clean anyway. However, you know, there's times when only bad words will do to really convey how you feel about something. And what is it about somebody saying a bad word that really causes so much almost harm and offense to people? And especially the word damn. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. So it goes on to say a petition started by the group to protest Burger King until it removes profanity from its advertising has just over 9,000 signatories. Now, 1 Million Mums itself had about 100,000 likes on Facebook as of early Monday morning. Now, when I read this bit here, I kind of felt that justice had been done. Because by that math there, that's less than 10% of this actual group, this million mums that only seems to have 100,000 likes on Facebook. So let's not get into the fake news that there are a million mums. Let's call them 100,000 mums, right? And there's probably some people in there just pretending to be mums. Who knows? Probably bots as well. Let's call it 50,000 mums. Even then, they're not all singing off the same song sheet, are they? They really ain't. The reason this story has been brought up, the reason that this story even became a story, is because the group's call out comes a month after the same group successfully campaigned for the Hallmark Channel to pull an ad for a wedding planning company that featured a same-sex couple kissing at the altar. Now, the channel reversed course a day after pulling the spot, apologizing for, quote, the hurt that it had unintentionally caused. And this is where it gets interesting, because it calls them the 1 million mums, but I'm calling them like maybe the 50,000 mums. Parent company, the American Family Association, has been designated by the Southern Poverty Law Center as a hate group. Now, I'd imagine they've been called a hate group because they were not happy about the same-sex kissing ad. Now, everyone will have their own view on that. That's for you to determine on your path and your game. But really, they've been designated as a hate group for having opinions. And even because I don't agree with their opinion that damn's such a bad thing, I don't think children will be damaged for life or scarred for life by watching that advert, you know. I don't, definitely don't agree with them being labelled as a hate group. That's just craziness. And what happens, folks, when you have these bad words? Okay? You know, it's because something is seemingly taboo. It's because kids are told they can't say these words that make them more attractive. You know, maybe if we could have a more mature kind of view on language and the use of it. And the fact that sometimes, you know, when you are angry or you're trying to emphasize or hammer a point on, sometimes only like cussing and swear words really get the point across. You see, the minute you start making a hullabaloo about words and everything else, what do? You make them all the more attractive to children in the first place. Because you tell a kid it can't do something or can't say something, as a parent, oh boy, it's almost like you're tempting them or daring them into do it. Because when they do it, they think they're getting one over their parents, right? Shouldn't be doing this. Naughty, naughty. So yeah, I don't know. In 2020, it doesn't bother me if people swear. I mean, it might bother you out there, but living in Scotland, and in particular Glasgow, my word, if I was offended by bad language, I would never be able to leave the house. You really wouldn't. And I would imagine, you know, out of the 9,000 signatories that did go onto that petition, how much are we betting? How much do you want to bet a lot of them swear in the confines of their own home? Maybe it might just be an innocent one. Maybe they bang their toe on a table or something, or they drop some that, and then you know the bomb comes out. That you know what I'm saying? I mean, are we all going to be fitted with a buzzer so we can bleep ourselves out like my amazing soundboard does here? I hope not. I don't know. I just think it's really, really crazy. Some of the things that people decide to make a stand against, you know, when if there is a million mums out there, I imagine they took a stand against something really, really damaging or potentially damaging to their children. Oh, I don't know. Say vaccines? Just saying. Moving on to our next story. Oh, I'm in good form today, eh? Oh, this is a good one. But this is the weird one. This is a bit of woo, bit of weird woo. Oh, somebody in the chat room's talking about Kevin Wilson. See, I can't even say the B word because it might offend people. An Australian comedian, absolutely hilarious. Not for your shrinking violet or snowflake out there. Don't go listening to Kevin Wilson if you are offended by bad language. Oh, please don't. But anyway, moving on. And this is a weird story, and I don't know if it's real, and I don't know if it's fake. I'm not telling you it's real. I'm putting the information out there. I'm going to kind of crowdsource the woo. I don't know. Green snow in Siberia? Check this out. Green snow falls on meteor city of Chelyabinsk. Remember the Chelyabinsk meteor that came in 2013, I think it was, and it smashed windows with the sound, the sonic boom and everything else. Remember that? Well, it says here, one of the classics of Fortean phenomena is things falling mysteriously from the sky. Whether it's bright balls of fire, creatures living or dead, rocks, or inappropriately coloured precipitation. They're the kind of events that occupied a sizable chunk of the Book of the Damned, the compendium of all things strange compiled by Charles Fort. Most places are fortunate enough to be only listed once as victims of Fortean events, and you would explain the bird story as a Fortean event. Birds mysteriously falling out of the sky. Now, if the author were still compiling stories today, the latest edition would have the Russian city of Chelyabinsk in it twice. Once for the famous meteor that blasted over the city on February the 15th, 2013. That was 7 years ago. Holy shamoly. Dang. I said dang. D-A-N-G. I didn't trigger the million mums. Come on now. And whose chunk allegedly has mystical lifting powers. Remember we watched that video? I don't think it has got mystical lifting powers, but it was good woo. And the other from the mysterious green snow which fell this week and has some who remember the falling super bolide wondering if they're related and why. Quote, precipitation with a pronounced green tint fell on the section of the Ural Road near the entrance to Chelyabinsk, between the gardens and the village of Slavino. A typical type of snow lies directly among the highway. In fact, 400 meters from the border of the city and a kilometer from the Kashtak Bor. Now, the Kurs Dela Russian media site posted a video of the green snow on January the 12th, and it was immediately picked up by other sites and Twitter feeds as usual. And the tweets are more interesting. So it says here, quote, green snow in Chelyabinsk region appeared to cheer up Chelyabinsk residents who showed signs of depressions due to a long winter. And then the next one, why not cosmic dust or seaweed? Or is it all an optical illusion? Someone sees green snow and snow is the colour of money, sawn on the installation of the filters. Now that was a Google translation from the Russian, folks. That wasn't my usual butchered, half-broken, crappy English reading. I'll make this even more mysterious when we come back after the break. Or I'll add to the green snow woo. If I had one tip for anyone out there, folks, one bit of sage advice, it would be never eat yellow snow. I have got no clue how to approach green snow. Find out after the break. I ain't going anywhere. Either are you. 1 hour down, 1 to go. Right here on the Kev Baker Show. Don't go anywhere. Ah, yes, indeed. And Shanna Bader in the chat room. I did know that. I found that out today. They did get black snow because of a coal mine that was nearby. Now, obviously, this would be no use for radio listeners. However, I can show you here. I'm not going to play it because I think it's probably copyright. I know it's only had 3,000 views on a channel with 7 subscribers, but we see here a greenish kind of hue to things. Now, here is the Russian website in question, and I have got no idea as to the veracity of this website's reporting. I don't know if this makes the authoritative news check on Google or YouTube. But when we come back in just a moment, what if I was to tell you this wasn't the first time there was green snow in Siberia? And that's why I'm wondering if this is a old story regurgitated from the past, made to look like something new. We've seen that time and time again. Clickbait, right? Or is it? Is it even weirder? Because could it be that they've had green snow on more than one occasion? I tell you, that is some weird woo. And as a Celtic supporter, a team that wears green and white, I beg for the green snow to come to Scotland. I truly do. But I'm going to get a drink of my coffee. I'll be back in a couple of minutes when we go live again. I'll finish off this story. And then you know what I'm going to do? Just for you. We're going to open up the phones, folks. Oh, yeah. Don't be swearing out there. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hour number 2 is upon us right here on the Kev Baker Show. And I'm pleased to tell you there is no green snow out my window right now. Green snow, indeed. What's that all about? What could be turning the precipitation, the snow, green? And could it be a fake story? Who knows? But the plot will thicken in just a moment when I get back into it. But let me remind you, coming up right after today's show, we've got Joe Joseph, the Freedom Link, and then a whole host of radio to keep you going throughout the day, the night, wherever you are, whenever you are, right here on tfrlive.com, the only network that you need to guide you through this game that we are all playing. Call it the apocalypse, call it life, call it what you will, but this is your one place where you can come and you can get all of the information that you need to make those neurons of yours fire away happily. And I hope by the end of my 2 hours, I do give you some infotainment. Maybe I gain a laugh or two out of you, probably at me, you know. Whether I'm Dave Baker or Kev Baker, I'll have to ask Clyde Lewis. I don't know, I still laugh about that. Maybe I should just change it to the Dave Baker show. Maybe I'll come back one day. Maybe it'll be a Mandela effect. Mandela effects. Doesn't that tie in with the digitization of everything and putting it through a black hole and creating a new virtual reality? Maybe some of that data gets broken up, scrapped, and doesn't come through right. And maybe that's why some of us remember some things one way and some of us remember some things another way. And both of us are absolutely right. But back to the green snow. I'm having a good time today. I'm feeling really good, and I want to thank you, the audience, for all of that. You don't know how much seeing the usual names, the usual faces, turning up to listen to the show, it really means the world to me. It truly, truly does, and I hope you really appreciate that. Whether you love me or hate me, know that I truly, truly couldn't do this without any of you. I just couldn't. But Green Snow is where we were before the break, and it was a story on the mysterious universe that I absolutely love. Now, we're going to come down, we're going to read a little bit more, and then we'll go to the Russian article, but then I'm going to boggle your mind when I tell you it's not the first time it's happened in Chelyabinsk since that meteor. So it says here, and some see a logical and typically Russian explanation to the green snow. Quote, the Regional Ministry of Ecology explained the green snow in Chelyabinsk, a strange colour rainfall at the entrance to the city from the side of Yekaterinburg was recently discovered by citizens. On Monday, January the 13th, department specialists left the site and came to the conclusion that the snow turned green due to dust from a nearby granite quarry. And like any good Russian government agency, the Ministry of Ecology points out that the green snow is not just safe, it's all natural. Nothing to worry about there, folks. No, green snow's cool. It's the granite quarry down the road. Quote, this dust does not pose a threat to public health. These are particles of natural materials and rocks. So breathing in rock dust might not be bad for you anymore. And I get you won't be breathing in the snow. I get that. But you see my point, right? Now, perhaps Chelyabinsk would get an honourable mention, or at least an asterisk, in an updated Book of the Damned, because in 2017, the snow in the city also turned green. I'm not joking. So 2017, this comes from a Russian site again, okay? The story's in there. They've got a link to it. You can see the date, 27, blah, blah, Russian 2017. So it happened in 2017. Now, did it skip a year? Did it stay away a year? No, it didn't. It didn't, because I've got an article here from The Guardian from Monday, the 25th of February, 2020. 19. So we've got 2017, we've got 2019, we've got 2020. I would imagine there's a 2018 in there as well, right? Or is it all the same story, regurgitated for whatever the dang reason? I don't know. But green snow, what could be causing that? Some kind of algae maybe taken up in a storm from the sea, comes back down? Some kind of mysterious oogie boogie green goo? If there's black goo, surely we shouldn't be racist about it. Surely there must be green goo, yellow goo, red goo, white goo. Don't discriminate. Be open-minded, be inclusive. Weird, right? So that's 3 out of the last 4 years there has been green snow in Chelyabinsk. Now, there must be other granite quarries around the world. There must be the same dust that is given off and goes up into the atmosphere, yet not so many mentions of green snow. Now, I hear people in the chat room over at YouTube talking about copper and whether that may be one of the constituents that make up those lovely, lovely spider webs that cover our sky on a daily basis. Could it be that? I know when you've got a copper ring or something, it certainly seems to leave a greeny residue sometimes, right? And then you've got all that patina as well. You see when a metal corrodes, it builds up, I think it's called a kind of patina. It's got a greenish kind of effect to it. Is there metal particulates in there? I don't know. I don't know. Is the Hulk up there? Is he what? Is the Hulk up there? Is that what it is? I don't know. I really don't know. But green snow in Chelyabinsk. Not once, not twice, but 3 times potentially out of 4 years. Or was it one time that's been regurgitated time and time and time again? So people like me will come along and go, whoa, look, looky here. Now, I'll be totally honest with you folks. I didn't bother to do the reverse image search on this. So maybe if I was to go deeper, and I just didn't have time before the show, I really threw this together really quickly, that part, when I came across the green snow. I wanted to see if maybe it had happened anywhere else in the world, and I was met with the fact that it had happened 3 times out of 4 years in Chelyabinsk. I don't know what's going on there, folks. I really, really don't. But I'm absolutely gobsmacked that it's been 7 years since that amazing meteor came in. And I remember the film of it. People with dash cams see it come in, and it was a big fireball, and then the sonic booms, and there was windows smashing and everything else. Very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Does it mean anything? I don't know. I really don't know. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up the phones for all of you to give me your woo. You can call me about absolutely anything you like. It can be about what we've talked about here on the show today. It can be about absolutely anything. Can't promise I'll be able to answer it. Can't promise I'm even going to agree with it. But who cares? Because it's not important. You shouldn't let other people's opinions put us up or down. Nor should you let my opinions or what I say on here affect you in any way other than maybe taking the information and looking into it and thinking about things maybe in a different way. Hopefully. I don't know. Whatever you do with it, that is on you, my good friends out there. And you are all my good friends, even if I don't know you all. I love you all individually because you're all awesome. I think you're all awesome. You better be awesome. Because if I'm standing up for you, if I'm saying you're awesome and you turn out not to be, I'm only joking. I'm rabbiting now. I'm going to open up the phones. So if you want to be a part of today's Kev Baker experience, if we can call it that, then all you have to do is really simple. You just have to dial 213-233-3998. And one more time, if you're in the US, that is dial 213-233-3998. Don't panic if you hear music when you call. I haven't connected the phones yet. See, I'm getting this sussed. But let me give that number one more time. 213-233-3998. 0333998. Or if you're in the disjointed, ununified UK, then please dial 0044 203 393 2871 at 0044 203 393 2871. Please get dialing. And while you get dialing, probably a good idea if I connect the phones, right? So, give me 2 seconds. I know it's a long 2 seconds. I know that. I know it. I can count. I promise. I just heard something falling in the background. I hope everything's all right. I'm sure my son will come in and tell me if it's not. Let's add in the phones. There we go. I think, yes, we have the phones on. So please feel free to call in. Now, I've been seeing... Oh, look at that. Eh? Oh, I'm such an amateur. I really almost made a big boo-boo there. I would have given you so many laughs if I had gone with that. I was about to say, we've got a caller on the line with a blocked number. But it's me. It's only me. It's because I connected the phones. That would have been weird. You're on live on the Kev Baker show. What's your name? It's Kev Baker. That would have been weird. So come on, folks. Don't be shy. Please phone in. But yeah, the other day on the show, when we covered what was going on in Australia, and I mentioned this on a really quick kind of stream yesterday afternoon/evening. Towards the end of the show, I asked people if they wanted to join me taking part in some kind of thought experiment, some kind of focused intention, just to see if we could do anything to help Australia. And don't be sitting there thinking I'm just about to claim that I've sent rain to Australia. That ain't how I roll. But at the time, it was pointed out to me, and I knew myself that when I was talking about it, I wasn't fully confident, almost quite embarrassed almost, about the fact I was talking about something that could be deemed new agey. But Nancy, my good friend, she sent me a number of videos about random number generators and how there is a conscious field out there that is being measured at some science establishments, universities. Who cares? I've got callers on the line. Whew, wipe the sweat off my brow there. I thought I was going to have to waffle for an hour. You don't want Kev waffling for an hour. So let me go to, it's either going to be Missouri or Michigan. And it's area code 810. A big, huge, warm welcome to the Kev Baker Show. Who am I talking to? Hey, who's this I'm talking to?
Yeah, this is Chris.
Hey, Chris, it's lovely to speak to you. Welcome onto the show. What's on your mind today, Chris?
Well, you just offered to call in, and I just figured I'd call in real quick, see if I could get on here. Yeah, that's an interesting story about the green snow.
It's really weird, Chris, isn't it? What do you make of it? I don't know if it's the same story that's been regurgitated.
And, you know, it's feasible that the rock dust could get, you know, you get those dust clouds, what is it, the dust bowl. That does happen, so it's possible, but sounds like a convenient excuse.
No, and I'm with you. I'm with you because there's been one time as well that they had black snow over there, and they said it was due to a coal mine nearby. There was also orange snow in Russia a couple of years ago. So you think this could be a feasible explanation then, Chris? Yeah.
I'll tell you what about the black snow. Here's the thing: white snow, when the sun hits it, it reflects the light. But if it's mixed with any kind of color at all, in the sun attracts more heat to the snow, so it melts. So but you do get brownish, sludgish looking slush on the sides of the roads that doesn't melt, but it doesn't sound like the characteristics of snow.
It's a strange one, but
that's just my opinion. No, I'm no expert. I'm just I'm just
Exactly.
a guy who pushes trouble.
Exactly, dude. None of us are experts at anything, and your opinion
Yeah.
is just as valid as anyone else's. But anything else
Yeah,
on?
that's why I prefer this type of this than media, to get information. Because at least it's just regular guys, man, trying to figure it out. Instead
Exactly.
of people were trying to push some kind of agenda narrative that like you can't got a non-disclosure agreement to tell the truth.
Exactly,
You know what I'm
brother.
saying? It seems like these people in those kind of positions, in the most part, that's kind of their program.
Chris, I couldn't have said it better myself. That is a really logical way of explaining why it's a good option to go and check out what's happening. Not just in alternative media.
Common sense. That's the best power that you got against all these shenanigans.
I don't know if you've noticed, Chris, but where I live, common sense is becoming very, very rare in some of the people around me. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird. We are in the technological advanced age, and people seem to be going backwards, not forward. As far as intelligence goes, well, it's because we're too dependent on artificial intelligence, and it does kind of make us we get kind of slower because we're not used to using that extra brain power.
Chris, you're hitting the nail on the head on so many levels here, because when you think about it, we no longer have to remember phone numbers. We no longer even have to try and spell a word correctly. The mobile phone or the computer will do it for us. You're absolutely right, sir. We don't even need to look at a map. We put it into the car. It'll tell us where to go. I think that's contributing. Yeah, I think that's contributing a heck of a lot. And I'm sorry to use the H word in case that offends anyone out there.
No, hey, that's the next thing is honesty, man. Is you just be honest about it to other people and to yourself. It'll help you navigate where you need to go. But we get a lot of us are in a lot of kind of denials.
Chris,
so, and that also hinders us from seeing what's really going on sometimes.
Chris,
we have a bias that.
Sorry, man, but I've never met you before. But I can tell right away that. I can tell right away that if I was to bump into you in a bar, if we were maybe sharing a plane, you are exactly the kind of person that I would hope to bump into, dude. Because you keep it really.
Likewise, man. That's why I'm a fan of your show, dude. Because it's just even if it's a heavy topic that that some people are crying about, you guys got a good way of dropping it out there, so it's not as as quite as heavy as it seems at times. That's the stuff that gets people in denial when something's so dang crazy that you're afraid to look at it. Pull the shit out of your head. And that's what's causing our world, basically.
You're right, and there's enough negativity out there without people like me banging the fear drum and keeping everything dark and depressing. I couldn't roll.
I've been caught up in that before too. I know how it feels.
I was there for years, dude. It's like I said to Brendan last night. I used to think everything was a conspiracy. The sky was always falling. We're doomed every day of the week. But there's no use living your life like that. It's so tiring.
Yeah, for sure. No, and it's robbing your life, and it's giving you more of a kind of a purgatory as opposed to life.
Chris, you, my good friend, this is the first time I've spoke to you. Please call in again. Yeah. I like your take, man.
Yeah, no problem.
You have a great day. And in case somebody...
Hey, you too, man. I'll stay in touch. I'll be in touch, man. It's great talking to you finally, man.
Listen, Chris.
Thank you, sir. Have a great one.
In case you've forgotten, never forget just how cool and how great you are. You have a great day, Chris, okay?
Hey, thanks, sir. I appreciate it, man. Yep.
I appreciate you, brother. And we are moving now on to another call from somebody that's called before. We affectionately know him as Spooky Andy. There's nothing spooky about this guy. He's the real deal as well. Dang, we're attracting some good callers today. Andy, how you doing, man?
Good.
What's happening, dude? Have you created that artificial general intelligence? Are we all doomed?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. In
No.
about another 20 years.
I'm sorry, brother.
Well,
What's on
screwed.
your mind today, Andy? What's on your mind?
Oh, I was hoping that you wouldn't say my name so I could be like, "This is Alex Jones calling you from the bunker. The dust is going to turn you the G word."
You see. I've remembered the names. I've got the names and all that sus now. You see. I know. Do you get offended by the D word?
No, I love all curse words.
It's weird.
I use when no one's around. I say all of them.
Usually, if I'm off air and I'm just with friends or anywhere really, they usually flow out of me. Us Scotsmen and Scotswomen and Scots Z's and all the rest of them, we all like to use swear words. I think it kind of emphasizes the point. Sometimes only a sweary word really gets the message across.
I know. I mean, and Samuel Jackson is, like none of his movies would be funny unless he used the MF all the time, and because he's not that great of an actor, and now he just does commercials for credit cards.
Dude,
You
this
can
is
tell
so
he's not
weird.
any good.
Man, this is so weird, right? Because was it Samuel L. Jackson you just mentioned there?
Yeah.
Well, yesterday, right, myself and Kevin were watching something and an advertisement came on and he's going to be in some new movie. And I turned round to my son and I says, when is he just going to ride off into the sunset and retire? He's just beyond it now. And I'm like you. I think he's kind of limited, but he's been in some good movies, right?
Yeah, he's like Nicolas Cage, like those movies are funny to watch. He's not a good actor, but it's like watching Beavis and Butthead. It's just, you don't have to think about it. You just have to know that it's pretty dumb.
Can you imagine?
And move on. And
can you imagine the snowflakes now, Andy? Some of these people that get offended by words and things that really hurts them and damages them. Can you imagine Beavis and Butthead if that was just being aired for the first time in this year, in the time that we're living now?
It wouldn't make it past any FCC
exactly.
board.
And that's how much the world has changed in such a short space of time. And Beavis and Butthead, you either love it or hate it. I absolutely loved it. You can tell I was a little stonehead growing up. But yeah, absolutely. Now we're almost coming on to the break, Andy. Anything else you want to get off your chest? This is your chance, man.
No. I was trying to troll, but you guys are my favorite, so I'm not going to troll.
Dude, you can troll me all you want because you know what? You've got a pure heart, and I know it's done in the best of fun. Brother, I will let you get back to your day, right? And thanks for calling in again, Andy. And remember, I know I haven't messaged you on Facebook. I apologize. I actually messaged a few people on Facebook today to apologize for not being in touch. I've been trying to limit my time on there, but I will get you on for a proper show sometime real soon, okay?
Okay, no problem. And check your email because I sent you a link to something important.
No problem. I will do that. Andy, you have a great day, and I'll say the same to you that I said to Chris. In case you've forgotten, never forget just how brilliant you are, okay?
All right, thanks. You too, buddy.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. We are having a good time here today. Please call in, folks. The numbers that you need are 213-233-3998. And that's if you're in the United, or is it the divided states? I don't know. It depends if you're into politics or not. I ain't. But you have to dial 213-233-3998. If you're over here in the disjointed, not United Kingdom, then please dial 0044 203 393 2871. That's 0044 203 393 2871. Now, I'm trying to put on my most polite voice there. I'm trying to attract people into calling the show. We're almost on the break, folks. So let me take this opportunity to remind you that this will be the last Kev Baker show of the week. But of course, I'll be back tomorrow with Freaky Friday with Joe Joseph, Scott Lopez, and we'll be getting into all of that weird woo that sometimes other shows just won't go there, but we do, and we'll do it in our own little woo crew way. And of course, Fridays on the network, it's a huge day of woo because right after Freaky Friday finishes, it doesn't stop there. In fact, it probably goes up a couple of notches, and Brent Thomas, he will take you, guide you through the paranormal portal. And what happens beyond the paranormal portal stays beyond the paranormal portal. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Remember, you are all brilliant. Don't go anywhere. Short messages. I'll be right back. Yes, indeedy, folks. I am having fun today. I hope you're having fun out there as well. I'm going to solve the mysteries of the universe for you, but I think we'll have a good fun as our journeys sync together for these 2 hours or more every day, depending on when I stream and when I don't. And yes, after all of the revelations that were bombarding my head today, funnily enough, I was a bit kind of here, there, everywhere. And that's why I thought we'll just double down the efforts and we will go for an absolutely barnstorming KBS. What a way to finish the week. And it's because of all of you out there. You might not know it. It might sound like flannel. It might just sound like some host telling you what you want to hear. But I genuinely mean it because all of us, you know, we're all playing our own individual games, but together for these 2 hours or on this network 24/7, our journeys, oh, they are very, very much intertwined. I'll be back after a little drink of my coffee. Don't go anywhere, folks. We've got one segment to go. The phones are still open, so hopefully we'll get more of you amazing people that make this show amazing calling in. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Kev Baker, for the next segment of radio. And then I hand the baton over to Joe Joseph. Yes, indeed. And then, of course, there'll be radio throughout the day, night, whatever time of the world that you may be in right now, right here on tfrlive.com. Now then, I've got a little story here that we can maybe get into if we don't have any more callers call up. But let me remember to connect the calls. I almost forgot. There we go. The phones are back on. So let me give out the numbers one more time without, I hope, running the risk of being very repetitive and boring the pants off all of you. So if you want to call into the show, all you have to do, if you're in the USA, oh, I wish I was there. Weather's far better than here. It's 213-233-3998. And I better slow that down, right? It's 213-233-3998. Now, if you're over here in the UK, it's I'm only joking, folks. It's not as bad as I make out. It's not. Some days, I don't know. But if you're over here in the UK, it's 0044 203 393 2871. That's 0044 203 393 2871. What a wonderful couple of callers we had in the last segment. Chris, somebody that I've spoken to just that time there, first time he's called in, a lovely guy. And of course, our good friend Spooky Andy. I'm actually kicking myself now that I introduced his name. I wish he had come on and pretended to be the Texas Wild Man. That would have been quite funny. You know, if it had said like blocked number or something and I hadn't got the name there and he had burst into a bit of Alex, I'm the kind of fool that might have actually got stars in his eyes and thought, my word, Alex Jones listens to my humble little show here. But no, I can't imagine he listens much. I probably wouldn't imagine Max Egan hears what I said in the first part of the show either. And I hope that made sense because now I know the radio audience can't see this, but there's my notes for tonight. There's my notes. I've got talk about Max. That's it. That's my notes for tonight. I don't script anything, folks. I just say what comes into my mind. That's why sometimes when I've done a segment of radio, it's not that, now this is going to sound weird, it's not that like somebody takes over me and it channels through me, but because you're just going with what's in your mind and you just lay it all out there, it sometimes doesn't make sense. And sometimes I'll come back after the break and I'll think, did it make any sense? Now, I hope it did make some sense to everyone who listened to the first segment. I know I don't usually go all kind of deep and monologue-ish, but, you know, today I obviously felt inspired. Maybe I was channeling something. I'm only joking. I'm not channeling anything. Not that I know of. But let's go to, it's somebody local. Well, they're in Britain. Let's go to a mobile phone, I think it is. And the last three numbers, I think I recognise them, but I don't know why. It's 028, last three numbers. Welcome to the Kev Baker Show. I think I might have spoke to this number before. Hey, it's Julian. Man, I knew.
Correct. You're getting to learn the number.
Dude, listen.
How you doing?
Have you got me on Skype? Are you in Discord?
I'm on Discord. I don't have Skype.
Okay.
I had a Skype once upon a time. I've fallen out of touch with how to use it.
That's okay, dude. I'm not going to do anything to you. Don't panic. I'm going to message you after the show or tomorrow on Discord because I really want, if you were up for it, I would really like to get you in for a couple of hours, man. But what do you want to speak about today?
Very, very kind. Well, I just wanted to react to your very respectful reaction to Max Egan and very sensible when you said you have to wait 48 hours. I know that's the tradition in media, or at least it used to be. I thought that's very sensible. You know, we tend to knee-jerk react to everything these days, and we react with emotion. And I spend 8 hours a day trying to show children how not to do that, but we all do it anyway.
And Julian, I was
impressed by that.
Thank you, sir. But I've been as guilty of that as anyone in the past. And perfect example was when, say, the flat Earth movement first got spoken about. And I really did. I reacted so badly when I look back at it. It should have really not bothered me at all how people view the information, and it certainly wasn't affecting my life in any way, shape, or form, what anyone believes out there. But I like to think that we're always growing, we're always learning, and I would like to think that when I look back at the Kev Baker who started on YouTube compared to the Kev Baker now,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of changes, and I would like to think for the better, Julian.
100%. It is hard not to react. It's one that I do react, and if I'm being honest, and cards on the table, I was suspicious of, or maybe disappointed by the fact that he had the Palestinian flag the whole time that he was talking about this. And even if the earth is flat, things like that might be used to detract from the Palestinian cause, which is something dear to my heart. The last thing I want people to say is, oh, you're Palestine supporter, are you a flat earther? Because flat earther is just a synonym for, well, nutter or tinfoil hat wearer.
I think the media like to use that as the new conspiracy theorist kind of tag that they used to put on people.
Yeah.
And of course, that was used by the media after the JFK investigation, and they came out with this term and the tinfoil hattery, and everyone got a really rough ride because of that. And I think they've upgraded it. And this is said in no offense to anyone who believes in flat Earth, but I think the mainstream absolutely love to paint, like you're saying here, Julian, all of us in that light. And unbeknown to you, brother, I mean, it's nothing. It done nothing in reality, but I've stood out in the cold a number of times in Glasgow when there's been stuff going on in Palestine, and I share your feelings about that situation, because these people are people just like me and you, and the way that they're being treated. When people are getting angry over
100%, Kev, yeah.
people are getting angry over the use of the word damn, and yet they don't speak up about whether it's Palestine, whether it's the famine or anything going on in the African continent. If it's not local to them, they don't care. But we're all human, dude. And that's why sometimes I say people's priorities, they confuse me. We get angry over all the wrong things when we should be getting angry over things that matter.
100, you're 100% right, as usual, Kev. I'll let you go. The only thing I will say is you would think we were more local to Hong Kong than France. The French are on the streets protesting today, and no one's heard a thing about it, but we keep on banging out on about Hong Kong, thousands of miles away. But you have a good rest of the show.
And
okay?
we can get
Thank
into
you, Kev.
all of that when you come on, Julian. I'll drop you a line, probably tomorrow on
Just
Discord.
drop me a line or tell me which is the best way to get in touch, and I'll be in touch.
No
And
problem,
we'll get
brother.
a good, perfect line, and we'll go to town on it.
Much love,
All right.
much love to you, bro. I love your
Thank you,
work, and I hope I can help get that
Thank you,
channel of
my brother.
yours growing. You take care, brother.
Thank you so much.
I love
Bless
that
you.
guy. I really do. Check out his YouTube channel, folks. He is doing some really good work. He really is. And Julian, from what I can see from his YouTube channel, is not just talking the talk. He truly does walk the walk. So let's go to our good friend, or I hope he's my good friend still. We're going to go to Nacy, Kev in Minnesota. But before I do that, I want to thank Mammoth Hunter, who has just become a regular member of the channel. Thank you so much. Mammoth, that's Jess and Dan that were on the other night. And I must apologise, I was pronouncing their surnames wrong. It was Dan and Jess Neggy, okay? I was calling it Neg, but it was Neggy. I should have known, with it being Australia. I've never met those two people. But you know when you come into contact with somebody and it just feels like you know them? Again, those two are the real deal. Lots of love to Dan and Jess. And lots of love to my friend Kev in Minnesota. Kev, are you still speaking to me? I hope you understand that last night when I brought your name up with Brendan, it wasn't to belittle you. It wasn't to go up against what you're saying. I genuinely struggle when you mention stuff about the moon and the earth, and I don't have any kind of answer I can give you. And I had hoped last night maybe I could have got some better explanation. I don't know if I did, but please, Kev, from the bottom of my heart, I hope you know that was done with the best of intention.
Well, you know what? I have been wrong many times throughout my life, and as long as I can grow from being wrong and hopefully find the truth where we can all recognize it and that it harmonizes and it resonates within us, you know, because more likely the truth is between me and you. And as long as we are evolved, miraculous miracles and remaining in the perfection of our own uniqueness, then we show that evolution when we can have good discord and come to a realization that it matters just as equally to each other. So let's try to find that truth together.
Brother, yeah, I couldn't have said it better. It's because you're a Kev. Kev's a good thing. All Kevs are pretty cool. But listen, bro, what do you have on your mind today? Because I love how your mind works. You always manage to take things to a really deep level, but you've got a way of putting them in words that we can all understand. What's on your mind today, man?
Well, I appreciate it, and I wish I had the opportunity to give you a call earlier, but I was at my VA Veterans Administration on health care services because I'm trying to rectify a situation. And so I wanted to bring that up as a fellow veteran as yourself, and thank you, brother, for, I'm going to make the assumption that you joined for the right reason. And like myself, you realized that we were just being utilized as cannon fodder for a more likely fascist form of government that are more about taking care of their interests of continuity of government instead of taking care of us veterans, especially when we get hurt or maimed during our services.
Brother, absolutely.
And in my situation, as you know, and maybe a lot of your audience knows also, but throughout my research, I am living with Gulf War illness, where during my service, while I was sent to the Persian Gulf, I was given experimental inoculations that wreaked havoc on my body, confined me to a wheelchair, took my sight, and gave me limited dexterity. And it is so disheartening when the VA administration is seemingly more about continuing the results of their experimentations instead of actually making things right. And so my heart goes out to these veterans that are in a situation where they're not able to voice these horrendous situations.
Brother,
however, with that being said,
you're so right. I fortunately never fell victim to the concoction that the American GIs were given when they went to the Gulf. I never went to any active zone. I don't ever try and hide that. You know, I wished at the time. I tried my hardest to get to active zones, be it Ireland, be it Yugoslavia at the time. But now looking back, like you said, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I did join for the right reasons. I wanted to defend my country. I thought everything was as we are told, only now I realise it wasn't. But I tell you what, Kev, I remember in basic training, I remember the day that we went down to the medical centre the first time, and there was literally 2 of them on each arm doing injections. Now, like I say, touch wood, by the grace of God, whatever. Luckily, I've come out the other side of that. Well, hopefully I'm not too affected. Some people will say I'm stone mad, but that's okay. But I absolutely agree with you. And the way that these governments, be it the American government, the British government, any government, the way that they treat the people that have gone out there and done their bidding for whatever reasons, it's disgusting. In fact, it's criminal. And instead of people getting upset about the word damn, maybe they could get upset about the men and women who truly are wanting to go out there and defend their brothers and sisters. We think it's the real deal. We don't know when we're joining up what it's all about. And that would be a good cause for people to get angry about. Maybe people should get active about people like Kev, who's struggling to get on after what he's been through. And for every Kev, there's a million others out there that we've never heard from, that don't have a voice. And I swear I'm so lucky I never fell victim to any of that, despite the fact at the time I would have crawled over hot coals to get to an active zone. I was trained to go and do that. And you might think that's horrible, Kev, saying that. That's a terrible thing. But myself and Kev, we both made that decision to go and defend our countries. We both wanted to fight for our fellow brothers and sisters so you wouldn't have to. And look how they use us. You think you've been given a hard deal by the government? Try Kev. Try all the thousands and millions of others out there who aren't even here anymore. But no one will get upset over the word damn in a burger ad. My goodness, what is wrong with people, Kevin?
Well, it's really interesting, and thank you for even solidifying the whole point of it, because when it really comes down to the nitty-gritty, if these governments do not care about the men and women and others that have sworn an oath to defend the citizens, the so-called citizens, and the people within the boundaries of their country, what would make you think that they care for the average Joe? And here in America, we're about to go through our census, and a lot of people don't realize that the census is done by the Department of Commerce. And the Department of Commerce regulates business transactions. So like a store every now and then does a mass inventory, is the United States just making an inventory of all of their products or all of their citizens?
Sorry, Kev, I thought you were going to add to that there, brother. I thought you were going to keep going. I'm trying to get...
I could have.
No, I'm trying to let my blood kind of calm down now, you know, the temperature go down. When I think of you, brother, it drives me insane because, like I say, there's 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 other Kevs and Kevinas out there that have all suffered in various levels, various degrees during our service, and it really, really angers me, and it angers me even more when I see people having a go at the servicemen and women. You know, it's like they're the problem. We genuinely join up because we think the world is the way we're told when we're growing up, and we don't know these things that go on in the background, and that's why I think, you know, people maybe need to look at people who choose to join in a different light. Maybe they should explain to them what's really going on in a different way. But brother, I've got another caller on the line, and I'd love to stay with you for the rest of the show, but I'm really wanting to get another caller in here. I wouldn't want them hanging on too long, and I know you wouldn't want that either, Kev. I'll have the phones open up again next week on Tuesday. I've got Charlie Robinson Monday. But please call in again, Kev. I love kind of winding out the show with you. You're a real guy. I absolutely love you, and thank you for understanding that yesterday wasn't some kind of way of having a go at you or trying to make you look silly or anything. I was genuinely trying to get more information. So thank you for understanding that.
Well, If you could check your email, and it might be on Messenger, I sent you a PowerPoint presentation. It's called Cycles of the Psychos, and it kind of gives you some imaging that I had a friend made up for me to explain about the moon and everything that's happening. So if you get an opportunity, then maybe we can go into more detail about it, because it's still crazy as ever, but it's great to have your voice of reason in all of this insanity. Ape gish bimad ziwe we men. Toodles, brother.
Ah, toodles to you. Thank you, Kev. And let's go. Finally, last caller. We're going to area code 719. I think it's Colorado. How you doing? Are you there? Area code 719? No. I can hear something, but I think it might be me in the background. Area code 719, last chance. Last chance. Oh. Oh, now I could have kept Kev on the line. Dang. But we've only got a couple of minutes left, folks. Listen, I apologize if I raised my voice and triggered anyone there, but it is something I feel quite passionately about. It's not just Kev. You know, over here in this country, we've got the Royal British Legion that does do its best at looking after ex-servicemen and women, but they can only do so much with the funding that they almost get. I think a lot of the money that the British Legion rely on, and I hope it gets to where it's meant to be going, is done through raising money. Charity events. Charity events to raise money for men and women left injured, disabled, because of the government that sent them out there to do something, and they won't look after them when they come home. There's a reason they give us dog tags. Because to them, we're just animals. Just dogs. Just a number. That's all they care about. And if I could live my life over again, I wouldn't be doing a damn thing in any military until I've seen Boris Johnson or one of the ones sending me out there right at the front. Until he goes, I don't know if he's got kids, until he sends them, I ain't going to fight no more. I ain't going to go up against some man or woman in a different country that's got nothing against me. We've probably got a lot in common. Apart from governments. Probably fighting over something that's under the ground that we're spilling our blood on. What a bloody racket. Literally. I'm sure that word probably offended people as well. Deal with it. Please, look around you. Look at the world. There's really more important things out there to get upset about than Kev's language. Not that it's even been that colourful. Dang, it's been a good show today. I have enjoyed this as much as I got triggered there towards the end. And I thank you, Kev, for that triggering. Because sometimes we need to be knocked out of that kind of the comfort zone. We need poked in between the eyes and reminded of what some people are going through out there and what's real, what really matters. Now, before I leave you again today, let me go back to where I started today's show. And that's with Max Egan. Don't judge the guy. Don't react and go to social media and post all this stuff about somebody that you've learned so much from and gotten so much to think about from. And the 72-hour rule holds good, eh? Because I'm sure there's a few people out there right now way retracting comments they put. Maybe they're not. But at the end of the day, what Max Egan thinks is Max Egan's thoughts, and it's his journey. And you're on yours. And together, we're all on our own little journeys. And whether Max sits well with yours or it doesn't, what's it matter? You present two people with the same facts, they're going to come up with a totally different version of the truth. Both could be right, both could be wrong. Who cares? It's all part of the game, right? We need to try and get back to having fun, loving each other, looking for our commonalities instead of seizing upon all those little perceived differences that we have between us. There's no difference between us, folks. We're all one. We're all connected on some level, even if we don't know it. You know, those random number generators and things that I'm going to be getting into sometime next week, that proves what I'm saying to a certain degree. But even then, do I know it's true? Am I forcing you to believe it, to drink the Kev-Aid? Never. All I want to do is give you stuff to think about and remind you all that even if you hate me, I truly love all of you. Until tomorrow, wherever you are, make a TFR. Then you touch that dial. And keep it real. Just be yourself. Laters, folks. Yes, indeedy. Well, that one got a little bitty deep today, didn't it? I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I'm sorry. I don't usually go ranting and raging, but I was talking to my mum last night about Kev from Minnesota. Because I was, when I came off the show, I was quite affected because I didn't want Kev thinking that I was using him in any way to try and make a point that, in the end of the day, what's it matter? And I'm glad I should have known, Kev would know that there was no kind of conflict. It wasn't meant in a bad way. In fact, it was through love that I used him. I used his point, and I thought I had somebody there that could maybe clear it up a little bit. I don't think it cleared it up too much, but we're all on our journeys, like we've been saying today. Now, there was a little issue in the chat room earlier on over on YouTube, and there was a mistake. There was a timeout by mistake by Ben. Ben, it happens. Tessa, I can only apologise. And Vince, thank you for helping man the chat as well. Thank you to all the mods. But there is something else that happens in the background from time to time. And that is if there's certain words that aren't algorithm friendly, it won't even do the mod. Sometimes it'll just come up on my screen as held for review. And if you're a mod, I think they see the same thing I see, and either I'll click it's okay or the mod will click it's okay. But if it's vile and it's just pure attacking and profanity, there's no value in that. Oh, and you can say, well, Kev's censoring my free speech. That's what you think, then. I don't know. I think we've got one of the best chat rooms out of the live streams I ever go to be honest with you. And that's not on me, that's on the people in there. So on behalf of the channel, Tessa, for that misunderstanding, and on behalf of Ben, I'm sure he's apologised already, but it was an oversight. And I've seen people before. I remember my good friend Nana, I think it was. She's sometimes in here. And I remember one time, I think she pocket dialed, like pocket. It was like 3 or 4 people. It might not even have been Nana, unless that was on Uni's channel. I remember at one time, though, there was like people just got timed out. They were literally saying nothing. There was a big kind of list of them, 3 or 4. And then it came to pass that it was somebody had made a mistake. They'd pressed the wrong thing, and mistakes happen. And mistakes only become problematic if we don't correct them. So on behalf of me and the channel, Tessa, I do apologise for that. You are as valued here as anyone else, as is anyone in the chat room, and anyone who may have had any kind of mistake with being timed out or anything like that. You know, I'm sure if it was for a reason, you yourself will know probably that, okay, it was a bit dodgy, and there's some words that even Google themselves will hold the comments for. Long story short, I can only apologise if there's little misunderstandings like that, but I try to keep an eye on it. I try to correct anything that may have gone on in the chat room, because I know everyone in the chat room. I know the mods wouldn't just kick people for nothing. They would lose their wrench quicker than we could even talk about it. I'd be right in there and take it off them. I've never seen any misbanning or anything like that. And I imagine last night it got a little bit colourful in the chat room. It does when me and Brendan are together, because Brendan's got his truths, and they do seem to sometimes fly in the face of what a lot of people may hold to be true themselves. And that can cause a lot of kind of bit temperatures to go up, you know. And why do you think myself and Brendan sometimes joke about being NASA shills? Because we know it triggers people. It's not because we're doing it to nastily trigger people. Sometimes you need to trigger people to knock them out their normalcy bias. That's all I'm saying. So listen, folks, I'll be back tomorrow. There will be an earlier stream tomorrow. I am refusing to go the full day where I stream tomorrow. I hope tonight's show, my energy levels were far more obviously picked up, increased with a nice day of rest, a nice day of thinking, and a nice day of heavy dot connecting going on in my head. I'm going to go back and listen to the first part of that show tonight. I hope it made sense. I really do. But before I go, I'm going to hang about for 5 minutes, and I'll see what the chat room are saying. I'll read out some of your comments. I'll see your name. I'll give you a shout out. I'm just going to go and quickly fill my cup, and then I'll be back. We'll stay for 5 minutes or so, just so I can thank all of you. Because like I said at the start of the show, or at some point through it, there wouldn't be a show without all of you. And I am very, very conscious of that. And you do mean the world to me. Even if we disagree, doesn't matter. So let me play some tunes if that's okay. Just 1 minute. That's all I'll need. I'll go and fill my cup. I'll be back. There'll be nothing huge coming from this point forward, folks. So I understand totally if you want to jump onto another stream, jump onto another show. That's all brilliant. And I'm really, really glad you tuned in today. But for those who do have time to hang about for a couple of minutes, cool. I'll be back and I'll play some crappy music until I come back. Would you like the horror house, the white hats, or techno? It's not very techno, but we'll go for techno just for a change, right? We need a change. A change is as good as a rest, right? Who's been keeping up with Oak Island? Oh my. yes, there is balance in the universe again. I've got coffee. I had a cold coffee for about 3 segments of that show. Oh, cold coffee, come on. I'm not one of these frappuccino guys. I like my coffee hot and strong, like my women. I'm only joking. Oh, that Kev Baker, he's one of those pesky, toxic chauvinists. Don't out me to the woke culture, folks. They'll come and try and cancel me. There's plenty that they'll find about me that they'll cancel me on. But no, I want to thank all of you for being here today. I see Mr. Mensa in the chat room. I had a bit of an issue with one of our mods. I can only apologise, brother. I didn't see what was happening. I don't know. And I was asking if you're on top chat or live chat. Kev's on top chat. Maybe that's how I missed it. But again, you have to understand as well. You know, I might not have any notes here, but that doesn't mean I can read the chat and do the show. And folks, if there's disagreements, you know, like I was saying at the start of the show, you know, just turn the other cheek. If somebody becomes abusive or cheeky, it does say more about them than it does about their target. And I know that doesn't make up for maybe what has or hasn't happened. I'm not too sure, Mr. Mensa, but you're so welcome here, just as much as any of the mods, as much as anyone. And I would hate to think of somebody having their show ruined because of something like that. So I hope, you know, from me, that I've never had any problems with King as a mod. I've never had any issues. So I'm sorry about that, brother. I hope everything's okay. I hope you understand I'm not going to start kicking people and taking wrenches, and I'm sure we can all have our kumbaya moment at the end of the show. We can chill out, let the temperatures drop again. We'll all go back to some kind of normality. And I see Nancy in the chat room. Oh, Nancy, I don't know if you were listening to the full show. What a day I had, you know. We had Max Egan's big video, the first one come out, and then through synchronicity, I end up watching Leonard Susskind at Toronto University in 2011. And this was before Max's second video. And I'd said to Nancy, I need to talk to you. I need to try and get something to you. And I've got something going on in my head. I think I know what's happening. And then before I got a chance to talk to Nancy, I actually found out Max had his second video out. So I'll hopefully get a chat with Nancy later on, and or tomorrow, whenever. But yeah, I tell you, we've got a lot to talk about. And you know what me and you are like when we get talking, Nancy. So when we do talk, make sure you've got a couple hours, okay? Now, what else have we got in the chat room? Today has been hard work as a mod, says Mammoth. And I thank all the mods, all the members, everyone. You're all absolutely amazing. Yeah, if Kev hasn't banned my ADHD, it's a bad word. I can't say it on air. I can't say I know, right? But that's the way it is. Pretty sure the rest of y'all are good to start. Yeah, Stimulate, I'd never kick you. I only really kick people if they come in and they've got nothing constructive and only abuse against either my guest or I don't care if you abuse me. If it makes you feel better to abuse me, trust me, I've heard it all before. There's nothing you can say to me that I haven't had levied at me before. I've got thick skin. It's cool. But don't expect me not to bite back. Okay? But yeah, hopefully we're all back to normal now in the chat room, right? But big shout. Oh, Nancy's sick again. Nancy, I tell you what, this is weird because I know people in America that have got the same kind of cold that you were describing to me today. My stepdad, Frank. Oh, wow. I don't think I've heard a cough quite as wicked or as nasty as this in all my life. And I'm somebody that lives with COPD. I get a nasty cough, right? Poor Frank, he's riddled with it. I think my mum's coming down with it now as well. I know it's that time of year, but dang, there's something really really kind of not nice about this current kind of cough slash fever slash, I don't like to say flu. I tell you, when you've had the flu, you know you've had the flu. I went for years getting a cold and things, and when men get colds, we're terrible. They call it the man flu for a reason. We're unbearable when we've got something wrong with us, right? But this thing here that people are catching, dang dudes and dudettes. Yes, indeed. Ollie Nation, I agree with you. It's not that I'm biased or anything, but yeah, we do have the best chat room in the world. It's not that, you know, it's definitely not that I'm biased. My mum, how nasty my mum is. She's sitting laughing now because I was speaking about my stepdad that way. I'm showing some love and concern here. Absolutely. Sending out the big vibes to Franco. Come on, you know? Eat raw garlic. It'll help your heart. Kev Baker is a wicked. He's the bestest dude in talk. Don't mess with him. Oh, dude, I think you give me way too much credit there, but I'll take it. I'll take it, right? Used to get a big head. Used to get the ego inflated at the start when you'd get lovely comments like that. It would give you the old dopamine hit. You know, we're all becoming dopamine junkies on the internet, right? But again, when I look at the guy that started out on YouTube to the guy that's here now, boof, sometimes I don't recognize him. And then when I look back to the guy that was in the army, oh, wow, that was a different dude. Definitely a different dude. That was Baker 0682. See that? After 20 years, I can still remember that number. 25040682, Sig Baker. That's mind control, folks. I can't even remember my own mother or my own phone number. I can remember an 8-digit number that they gave me in the army. And they say it's mind control. Oh, you better believe it. What else are they saying in the chat room? I had the crud since Thanksgiving. Never had anything hold on like that. Connie, that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Yeah, it seems to just linger about. And Frank, my stepdad, he goes to the doctor. What's the doctor say? Oh, the virus. What do you want me to do about it? Well, you're a doctor, so I'd expect you to at least do your job. How you can diagnose a virus with your eyes, I don't know. I tell you, unbelievable. Health professionals? Whoa. I like Dave Baker. I like when Dave Baker gets triggered. Thank you, Russell. Yeah, I think we need to get Dave out the drawer now and again. Big time, big time. I'll tell you what, folks, I have gone like what? Not that I'm counting. I'd say about 6 days without a PPP. I've never been seeing the world so clearly. I tell you. Things start to get a bit unclouded when you give up that herbal crutch that some of us rely on so much. Oh, even rhyming now. Dang dudes. And I say that more often now because I know Jess's great husband, the most Aussie guy I've ever had on the show, he loves it when I say, dang, dude. I know, because he likes laughing at me, but that's okay. If you can laugh at me and get a good buzz out of that, that's cool. GPs are highly overrated. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Mammoth, who do you prefer, Kev or Dave Baker? I'm just asking. Who knows? A big shout out, Nancy. I hope you get better soon. I really do. What else have we got in there? What else have we got? Cobra. Sorry if I haven't shouted your name out before. Maybe I have, but it's a new name, I think. Thank you for tuning in. Cobra says, Cobra! I had the flu for 2 weeks. That was 3 weeks ago. I've had a week off and on since. Won't go away. I tell you, more and more people are saying the same thing. And I'm not saying, oh, it's all ooga booga. I'm not saying that, but it's weird, right? It's a pesky cough that's going around. I love my medicinal herbs. So do I, Connie. So do I. I'm trying to kid myself on that it's all going well. The days are long. Trust me. I love plants. Nancy, don't thank me. We're quantum entangled, me and you. I wish we... You know, one of these times when we talk off air, Nancy, I think maybe we should just click live on the live stream and we'll just let the world listen into some of the deep woo, some of the rabbit holes that we go down. But then when me and Darwin team up, when me and your husband get together, I'll shove on the tunes and we'll just have we won't let people hear what me and Darwin speak about. There's definitely not clean enough jokes and definitely not good enough language to be bringing to YouTube. That's my roundabout way of saying I absolutely love you to bits, Nancy, and I hope you get better real soon. Mama says she doesn't know yet, Kev. I don't know if it's Dave or Kev she likes. Like you said, you better get him out of the drawer a bit more often so we can compare. Dang. Dr. Jennifer Daniels' channel. She's different and does a show weekly. Okay, I've never heard of that one. Thank you. Who else we got here? Listen, folks, because I'm really just sitting here and I want to show you that, you know, I really do appreciate you. You're a big part of this show. I remember, you know, getting a shout out on Joe Joseph's show. It used to make me feel the world. But it'd be great. I know Joe Joseph was once like up there, one of my heroes. Never meet your heroes. Never meet them. It's never quite what you think, right? Especially with Joe. I'm only joking. And I know Joe won't listen to this. He doesn't listen to my show. He thinks I'm absolutely mad. But yeah, no, I'm having a joke. But no. Yeah, but no, but yeah. But listen, I'll be back tomorrow. I was going to say same time, same place. It'll be same place, different time. Midnight in the UK. Now, this is Freaky Friday. Now, because it's a later start on a Friday, that gives me more time during the day to put stuff together for our safe space stream. Yeah? So tomorrow, I promise you all, and each and every one of you out there, and especially the Discord people, you have got permission to flog me digitally. Not physically, but digitally, if I don't hold that promise for 2 streams tomorrow, okay? Listen, again, thanks for tuning in. Please go and check out Max's videos. Do not judge him on it. Don't let it trigger you. Remember, we're all on our own individual journeys. And what we've got going on here, I don't know what it is. But we have our ups and our downs. We have our little disagreements sometimes. But I think we can all agree it's a little bit different here. I'm not saying it's better than anywhere else, but it's definitely different in the KBS chat room. And I ain't in there. So that's on all of you. And I thank you for that. So, like I always do nowadays, you love it. You know you do. Keep your mind open. Thought it wasn't working. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo. Chevelos Essay says, how you feeling on Max now? Go and listen to the start of the show, brother. I've got more respect now for Max Egan than I ever had. And I had a lot. And I love him dearly. The same as I did before all of this. Did he shock me in the first video? Yeah, I was taken back a bit. But did you see me rushing to social media to condemn him? To flog him? To have a go at him? Because he dared to think differently? Maybe a few years ago. Not now. My opinion of Max Egan is probably improved. Because he is saying his truth. And he knows it's going to anger people. He knows it's going to trigger people. He knows he'll probably lose people along the way. And I've got respect for somebody that keeps it honest and tells you how they're feeling and tells you what they see. Does it mean I think everything Max says is right? I don't know. That's Max's truth. That's Max's journey, Max's experience. I can only tell you what's true to me. And that's how I feel. And on that note, I'm going to play it again. Keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo. Ryan Gable sneaking into the show at the end there. Oh, dude. And I love you to bits, Ryan Gable. You know that. I tell you that too often off air. It's quite creepy, actually. I'm only joking, brother. You know I do. Keep it real.